as we like to call it, Game Day Universe. Our mission is to enrich lives, to help build and support communities, to create spaces for teamwork, provide opportunities for leadership, and we do that through our immersive STEM academic programs and our workforce development programs. What I'd like you to do is imagine transforming the passion for gaming into a powerful force for education and career development. This is Game Day Universe. It's an innovative fusion of esports entertainment, immersive STEAM education, and workforce development, all within our nationwide network of state-of-the-art technology event spaces. At Game Day, we're not just reimagining gaming, we're reshaping futures and supporting the communities we're in by leveraging the universal appeal in gaming, which touches 75% of Americans nationwide. We create a bridge to invaluable skills in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and we offer pathways to higher education, exciting careers, and especially for those in underserved communities. Because nobody should be limited by their opportunities because of their social, economic, or location-based needs. So, I'm excited to be out here and be able to speak with you guys. Dee, am I being joined by you today as well? I'm not positive the format for the fireside chat. I think we're supposed to engage.
Do you have a second person who's supposed to be with you?
Right here.
Okay, yeah, you can, want to introduce him?
Okay, so you guys, I'm being joined up here today.
Also, hold the mic a little bit closer.
You guys, I'm being joined up here today by Dee Jones, the president of L3C, a gaming and community organization.
Thank you, everybody. I am Dee Jones. I'm the president and CEO or chief energy officer because I believe the energy you put into things is what you get out of it. So I'm the CEO, chief energy officer of Jump Ahead L3C. We are a social impact organization that actually focuses on social impact. So we use gaming as an outlet to educate people on social issues that hit communities the hardest, underserved communities, people in the hood, people in poverty, and I'm very excited to chat with you guys, let you guys know about the cool things we do. I just recently had an esports competition February 17th. I have a partnership with the NBA, so they donate me copies of NBA 2K, and we use NBA 2K to educate youth and communities across the city that I stay in. I developed something called the Youth Justice Influence League, so I have a direct partnership with our court system, the 17th Circuit Court, where I actually developed something called the Youth Justice Influence League. So we actually educate the kids on social issues because the school to prison pipeline is an actual thing. A lot of people don't know about that. But we actually educate the youth on real world issues, and we find good speakers that work in government and finance, esports coaches, people that actually care about the youth, but let them know about the real world, because once those kids get into high school and they get out of their parents' house, the real world is a hard thing, and if you don't learn how to survive in the real world, then life is going to be harsh, and a lot of these kids are already in poverty and bad circumstances. So I developed the esports league to help these kids. But back to the competition we did on the 17th, I used esports to educate people on social issues. So we did an NBA 2K competition for a $2,000 cash prize, but we also had our political party, the Democrats there. So the Dems were there. I invited the Republicans, but the Republicans didn't show up. So they actually educated people on the social issues and the policies and the politics that they actually do for underserved communities, and letting them know the issues that they're working on to help change the circumstances of people in poverty. We also had Consumers Energy there, who actually brought 6 electric vehicles. So we actually educated people in the hood, in poverty and underserved communities on electric vehicles. They learned where chargers are. They learned how to charge EVs. They actually got inside EVs. So we got at least 30 plus people from the hood, young adults, young kids inside EVs. We also had a solar panel there, so we educated them on solar energy and green energy and infrastructure and finances. So I'm looking forward to this chat. Thank you.
So Now, Dee, you and I were talking a little bit before we came in here,
Yep.
and one of the things that really stood out to me was the opportunity that you self-discovered to change your career path and the direction that you were going. You really embodied this representation of, you know, you were going down the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
And through gaming, what you discovered was that you had an opportunity to establish better community, better connections, and that you were using those skills to trampoline yourself into a better pathway.
Yeah.
You got yourself not only out of trouble, out of you know, those probationary situations, but to the point where police officers are asking to take pictures with you and saying thank you, right?
Yeah. So it's crazy because I actually started last year. I've always been a gamer, always loved video games, been a game head since I've actually seen video games. But I wanted to do something positive for my community because we didn't have esports. We had basketball, we had all the traditional sports, but I didn't see, and I knew we had esports, but it was predominantly white people that were doing esports, and we didn't have esports in the underserved communities and people in the hood that actually were doing gaming competitions. So I went to a Detroit Pistons game because I stay in the state of Michigan, and I ended up seeing the platform, the Pistons GT, and seeing that they were doing like $1,000 esports competition and giving away jerseys and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I'm a gamer, I need to do something with my company. So I ended up doing a $1,000 esports competition, connected with the NBA people on LinkedIn, and ended up getting 8 copies of NBA 2K and built a partnership with the NBA and did an esports competition. I was able to get our sheriff's department to actually sponsor it, which was pretty cool because a lot of people get locked up in the trenches and they don't understand this difference from city police to shots to sheriffs. So it was cool to have our sheriff's department there, and a lot of our politicians from the county, the city, state representatives, state senators, they all came to the esports competition. My very first competition, I was able to get Steelcase, which makes furniture. Steelcase is a global company in the city I live in, and they make esports furniture. I was able to get a lot of organizations that never really got activated into esports or wanted to get activated into esports, but nobody were doing the competition. So yeah, I have politicians. I've been able to educate politicians. Me being an advocate, going to King County Board and City Council and speaking to them. I actually got the King County Board to actually put together a budget, so I actually be helping build esports labs, and I'll be getting paid about $25 an hour to consult with them. So just speaking out and just, I would say just sparking the passion that I have, and just going out there and going after the goals and visions that I've seen have actually created a lot of additional opportunities for me to actually work with the government and partner with the government, and now they're actually paying me to help create those labs and actually create access to a lot of the gaming companies and esports labs to develop infrastructure and create those opportunities for those kids to go through college and eventually become esports players.
So I think that's really amazing, and you mentioned a couple of things there. First is, through gaming, you took a situation where I think common ground isn't often thought about, right? The sheriffs and the police officers are on one side, and then you're on the other side, and there is a lot of people that probably identify with that divide, right?
Yeah.
And through gaming, you found this common ground. You found this connection. And really what you found was the opportunity to build and support community and create this rapport and this building relationship, right?
Yep.
And one of the words that you said is access. At Game Day, we have this phrase that we talk about. We've all heard knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
And we don't believe that. It used to be knowledge is power. And that's where the power of a university degree came from, right? Is they could control and gatekeep the access to that knowledge to the elite few, to those that could afford it, to those that were in the right social or economic situations. And knowledge is no longer where the power lies. It's access to that information. See, anybody with a phone, anybody with technology can have some of that knowledge. And so it's not something that is as valuable as it once was, but now it's creating the access points. It's places like L3C and what you're doing. It's places like Game Day that are creating opportunities for youth or for young adults or for transitioning adults to have access to these tools, to these resources, so that they can discover their own new opportunities, right?
Yep.
And a lot of the things that we're talking about isn't just playing video games. It's not just going and wasting 5 hours playing some Valorant or League of Legends. It's actually the connections from those video games into education, right? It's into science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. So STEM, or I guess it's turning into STEAM now, right?
Yep.
But it's taking someone that's playing Minecraft and showing them how they can learn about architecture or city development or planning. It's taking someone who's playing League of Legends or Call of Duty and showing them how they can get into project management or getting into leadership, right? Someone who's playing Rocket League. I mean, I like Rocket League. I like to go play some Rocket League, but you're learning strategy. You're learning teamwork, communication skills, leadership. You can take someone that's playing Rocket League and put them with a team, and they can transition those skills to take them further on in their lives, right? Yep. Real careers are being developed, and it's not the careers like I think a lot of people think of, which is just development or gaming careers, or I'm gonna go work for Blizzard or Riot. These are careers in the military. These are careers that are in companies like IBM or Microsoft, or even a lot of local community government and politics. Yep. To have these abilities to communicate, to strategize, to stay calm under pressure, to handle stressful situations. These are all things that can be learned and transitioned directly from gaming. One of the things that we felt was a huge impact is the research, right? The research about gaming, that when someone has an opportunity to learn something in a gamified environment, they can learn it up to 2 times faster than learning in a traditional environment. When it's learned in a gamified environment, that same research shows that there is an 80% performance improvement, that there's a 60% retention improvement, and that there's an 80% application improvement. So what that means is that not only did I learn it faster, I retained more of it, and what really counts is whether or not I can apply it, right? Mm-hmm. If I learned it and now I can use it for something.
Different things too.
And people that are learning these things in gamified environments, their trajectories are higher. And one of the really neat things is the communities that are forming around this, right?
Yeah.
You don't just have a bunch of kids and young adults that are on a one-way ticket to mom's basement. Mm-hmm. You actually have people with ambitions and career goals. They don't want to be where they're at. And so what they're using is the gaming to move their lives and their entire communities into a better direction.
Yeah, and a thing that I wanted people to know is, like, I started my first esports competition. I did my first esports competition April 22nd. And I'm a visionary. I've always had a global vision for things that I wanted to do. But my first esports competition got me recognized by an esports league called the Ultimate In-Gamers League, which is based in Virginia. They found me, and now I'm actually, from all of the esports competitions, I was doing $1,000, $2,000 esports competitions. They found me, and I was able to bring them, which they already had a platform where they were competing for $100,000. I actually helped them bring their $100,000 esports finals to my city. In June 8th, they're going to host the $100,000 esports finals at the DeVos Place, which are billionaires.
Did you just say $100,000?
$100,000 esports finals at the DeVos Place, which are billionaires. And they're going to be doing that June 8th. So just having the passion, the energy, putting the love into what you believe in gaming is bigger than video games. There are careers, there are opportunities, there are people that need to see that this is possible. You need to break those societal barriers and inspire and spark innovation, because if I never did these esports competitions, I would have never been able to do the things that I'm doing. I even became vice president of a esports organization in Detroit, Michigan, where we're developing a film called Gamers. We have an energy drink. We also have a esports cafe, and we have an app called Play Esports, which I have the hoodie on. And so if I never did these esports competitions, I actually have careers now where I actually oversee a lot of these things and actually give creative feedback to the film we're developing. And we're actually going to be speaking to Disney about the film and getting it on Netflix and all of these different outlets, and just showing the youth that, a living example of, going out there, sparking innovation, hosting esports competition, and advancing your career, and also bringing tourism, bringing different companies, bringing that economic impact. I'm really big on economics, and we're going to have a large economic impact. I'm talking about bringing $100,000 esports finals to the DeVos place, which are billionaires, and then I sat there on a call with the DeVos place, and they said that they want to continuously host these competitions and bring the finals there. And the UEL was actually out there in, where they at? They were in Qatar and connected with the Qatar government, so they possibly might get a investment from the Qatar government. And that's pretty cool because now we're building all of the synergy. So once we all come together and we align and we host that esports finals June 8th in the city at the DeVos place, it's going to be huge. And I just look forward and excited about it. So I'm just a true example of just going out there, going after your passions, going after your goals, and showing the youth and young adults and anybody that if you have a vision and if you have a vision for your life and you want to go out there and do something beautiful and spark innovation and have an economic impact, that it actually can happen.
So, a couple of things I hear there is those aren't small titles you're throwing out. And I'm not talking about the gaming titles. You're using words like VP, right?
Yeah.
And president and co-founder. You went from quite literally being a victim of the system, being another statistic, to being someone who's a role model, being someone who kids and youth can look up to. But let me ask you this as well. How has that impacted your mental health, your confidence? How has that impacted your resilience?
Oh man, I would say I have an undying confidence, but I'm a very confident individual, and I believe the challenges. I love to be in leadership positions and do the hard things. I would do the hardest job because I believe there's strength and there's knowledge and there's a intrinsic learning that you do, like internally you learn things from being hands-on and active, and so it has a positive impact on my mental health because I'm always happy, I'm always positive. But I think the thing that really gets me is just hearing the stories of thank you for this or funny stories. So I actually was somebody who went to the criminal justice system when I was young. I actually brought a gun to school, and I wasn't trying to kill anybody. I was just trying to impress people that I was smarter than people from the hood, just like me, and just trying to let them know I was about that life. And I ended up doing I did 4 months in a juvenile detention, and I did 6 months in a residential home. And I remember walking through the halls, and the first thing I told myself is, D, this is not you. You're going to get out, you're going to graduate, and you're going to play basketball. And I ended up getting out, and I ended up leading my team to the state championship my senior year. We won the state championship conference state title. We ended up getting on the news. The angriest lady on the campus was the nicest lady, and she was very nice to everybody. And you can inspire people that you never thought. You never know who's watching. And to this day, like the kids that just let me know that, hey, you inspire me. You let me know that I can do anything. Like I stay in the second worst city for economics in America for African Americans to live. And so a lot of people are just, they love the things that I do, and I can't stop. Like if I stop, then who's going to do it? Who's going to pick up that baton and run and spark that innovation and that passion and lead that next generation of leaders and let those kids know that are in the Youth Justice Influence League that are on probation and surveillance, that you can be that gamer, that you can be that person that works in Hollywood, that you can work on esports productions. You don't have to be that gamer, but you can work on a production side. You can be a shoutcaster. You can be a person that actually develops games. I also work for a company called Blackpoint VR, and we're developing a game on the Unreal Engine. Epic Games developed the Unreal Engine, and so I actually help develop infrastructure and connect colleges, universities, communities, all of those different organizations to Epic Games and help them get access to the educational tools that they have to spark innovation, design video games, develop video games, work within the Fortnite ecosystem. And I can't tell you how it just helps me just feel like being able to get access to, one of my favorite games, but also help organizations across the United States. And Epic Games goals aligns with the United Nations goals, which my goals align with the United Nations goals of getting people out of poverty and helping create economic impact and affordable housing and clean water and those different things that a lot of different countries suffer from. So I love and the energy goes out to those different countries, and eventually we'll get out there and create an economic impact and positively affect lives across the planet eventually one day.
I really actually do believe that. So again, I'm a statistic nerd, right? I actually didn't come from gaming. My wife and I were against gaming. I came from 15 years in operations and finance, and the reason I actually started becoming a gaming advocate was because I was having a deteriorating relationship with my 12-year-old son. Our relationship was really on a one-way ticket to where I saw him headed towards the prison system, and we didn't have a relationship on the other end of this the way that I saw it. His grades were like a 1.0, but the most frustrating thing about that was that I knew that he was undercutting his potential. I knew that he was a smart kid, and I knew that this wasn't the story the way that it was supposed to be told. And right about that time, this movie came out called Gran Turismo. And in Gran Turismo, Jan Marlboro goes from playing the PlayStation sim racing game to becoming an actual race car driver, and he led his factory team with Nissan to the Le Mans and actually podiumed. Became one of the most legendary race car drivers of all time. And that really struck me. Are those skills that kids learn in video games, can they be transitioned into the real world? I went home and I said, my son's name is Carson. I said, Carson, tell me about this game that you're playing. And he's excited, right? Like, he's like, oh yeah, Dad, I'm playing this game called War Thunder. And I'm finally showing interest in what he wants. And he's like, okay, Dad, yeah, by the way, the premise of War Thunder is that they take these airplanes and they dogfight them. But they have to start at like World War I era airplanes, and they slowly upgrade them until they're in modern era airplanes like F-35s and SR-22s and stuff. And he's like, yeah, Dad, it's like 1949, we're getting to the tail end of World War II, and they just came out with this invention for the aircraft which changed the aerodynamics of it. But I'm really excited for like the 1954, when they start to upgrade this on the wings, and it's gonna change the fuel efficiency. And he's naming all of this stuff, and he's giving me dates, and he's telling me history, alignments. I went to his school and I said, hey guys, he's in English and art and pottery. I need him in physics, engineering, robotics, and piloting. And they looked at me and they said, are you out of your mind? This is the kid with a 1.0 that we can't keep out of the principal's office, and you want to put him in the hardest classes we've got. I said, yeah, let's see. My son has a 3.8 GPA right now, and he's on set to get his pilot's license next year. But it was really exciting, and our relationship has done nothing but grow stronger over the past couple of years. So again, another example of seeing these skill sets that transition someone and take them out of the trajectory that they're currently in and giving them something positive, giving them something to look forward to, building their mental health and their confidence. And can this be applied towards other games, not just War Thunder, or not just Minecraft, not just Fortnite, or Rocket League, or NBA, Call of Duty. All of these things have one thing in common, and that's the fact that they build communities, they give opportunities, and they really do develop these skills that are transitional. And so I would say, if you want to, really support a lot of the things that me and Dee are talking about out here, go take a look at L3C. Jump Ahead L3C. Go take a look at GameDayEsports.com or GameDayUniverse.com, and what you'll find there is that whether or not it's in Michigan or Salt Lake City or Atlanta or Las Vegas, you're starting to have these innovators and these leaders pop up that are driving this forward, but the industry is still so young, right? I think a lot of people, if we were two other companies that were not in gaming, we would be competitive, right?
Yeah.
My company would not like your company because we would be against each other. But actually, that's not the way that it works in this case. I want nothing but to support your company, because the better I can build you and what you're doing, the more that supports me and what I'm doing. And I think that that's another example of how gaming communities are so supportive. And one thing that when you look at these community growths, right? A lot of people say, I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna finally get out of this place. I'm gonna leave my community. I'm gonna go somewhere else. But that doesn't help the community. That actually destroys the community, right? But with gaming, and because of the access that it provides, you have people that are actually able to stay within their communities and help elevate the community as a whole, right?
Yep.
The rising tide lifts all ships.
Yep.
And so you don't have to leave the community in order to create these opportunities. You can actually build the entire community as a whole. Again, you said tourism, right?
Yep.
Bringing project development, helping out the community government, helping out politics.
The government loves those
situations.
tax revenues. They love those people that can bring those tax revenues. So that's the cool thing about it. And about the game design part too is just the cool thing about games is that you can create an ecosystem. You can create communities. You can help communities. You can bring economic impact. So those, indie game developers that have, cool ideas and want to be able to develop a game, like think of the positive impact that it can have on the planet. Because think of our favorite games that we love, that we, kicking in with our friends or our loved ones, and we play those games, and it help us build it help us build that love, it help us build that passion, it help us build that community, it help us build that sense of togetherness. And I just want people out there that have an interest of gaming. If you have a cool video game that you want to develop, think of all of the people that can play it. Think of the esports competitions and the impact that it can have. Like I said, I work for a video game company called Blackpoint VR, and Special Force veterans are developing a game on the Unreal Engine. And as of now, they're in North Carolina working with young kids in North Carolina at the North Carolina Esports Academy. And they're working with these kids, and they're getting hands-on experience with the Unreal editor for Fortnite. And they're helping us develop this game, and eventually we'll be getting some grant funding from Epic Games to develop this game. And eventually we're going to have that beautiful game that will be just as cool as Call of Duty, but it actually be some Special Force veterans, people who actually served our country, actually developing the game. And so it's going to be different. And they have a lot of games and cool stuff scanned into the game. And I'm very excited about this game because it's going to bring economic impact. But as I was saying, not just that, but the Ultimate In-Gamers League, the esports league that I actually helped bring to our city, they actually have a unique spin wheel, which they have 33 different titles. So they play 33 different titles, and they spin in whichever title that it lands on the spin wheel. They play that game and they compete for points. And the game that we're developing is actually going to be a game that will be on that spin wheel. Once that game is finished and developed, it is going to be played in this professional esports league where I'll eventually have a team and they'll continuously come to my city and compete. And so I want people to think about the infrastructure and the cool things of how a game can actually have a large impact on different facets of life and different facets of business.
So that's one of the cool things that you're saying there is if someone had a game idea, right? They've got this concept in their head. I don't know anything about development. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to build or develop a game or work with Unreal Engine.
Yep.
But within these communities, right? These communities stretch across the nation. They actually stretch across the globe.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I might not know those things, but I bet you there's someone within the community that does.
Yep.
And how fast do you see people jump on to help with these projects, to create support networks? And next thing you know, it goes from concept to design. You're recruiting a team of people that are helping you develop it, and then it's on that spinning wheel. And again, the mental health impact, the confidence that provides, letting someone know that it's not just a dream, it's something that's truly possible and probable if you take the chance and put that first step forward.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a living example. I eat, breathe, and poop this stuff, as they say. And I'm just very, it's just crazy because I really started a year ago, and under a year I helped bring I started from $1,000 to 100,000. It's 100 times the impact. In under a year, and I put all the love and energy and passion I had into this. And the crazy thing about this journey is this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of, the cool things that I've been doing, the economic impact, the change of, shifting people's thinking, getting people to get out there and go after their visions, and helping those indie game developers and those visionaries and young people that want to get into gaming, and inspiring those parents to let their kids be gamers and actually, support their kids if they want to eventually get that gaming PC or they're on a Nintendo Switch or things like that. People also don't know, with the Unreal Engine and the creative side of Fortnite, you can actually develop your own universe using the Nintendo Switch. So you can actually use the consoles, and it's a pretty cool thing. So I just really want to be able to broaden people's horizons with gaming, just because it's bigger than just picking up the controller. Like, this creates economic impact. It breaks societal and social barriers. Like I said, I have police officers wanting to take pictures with me, and so they can show their kids that I'm the guy who's bringing video games to their schools and around the community and doing cool things. And I'm just very excited to be able to. I'm thankful to even be here. Like, last year I was here at the Internet 2.0 conference, and I got an award for being a visionary, but I never thought that I would be here speaking on a panel. I wanted to speak on a panel last year, but I never thought that I'd be here at the Caesar's Palace and speaking on game design and just the beautiful things that gaming can do for a society. And we're going to push that. We're definitely going to push that. We're definitely going to push the boundaries here. That's why we're sitting here, to push the boundaries.
Well, I definitely think that that's amazing, and I can already envision next year, right? Next year, we're not just gonna have you and me up here, Dee, but we're gonna have more people, right? Each year that this has moved forward, it's grown, and the impact has grown, and the recruitment and the momentum has grown. And so again, I would encourage you guys, whether it's you, whether it's a friend, a child, somebody you know, help them get involved. And if you don't know where to start, two great places to start. Again, go to GameDayUniverse.com or go to
Jump Ahead L3C or thejumpahead.com.
jumpahead.com or Jumpahead L3C, and you guys can find a way to get involved and help us continue this momentum and this traction that we've gained.
Yeah, I would like to say that if anybody would like to get connected to Epic Games, if you like Fortnite, if you want to be able to get that to your school district, your community, your college, your university, I'm best friends with the head of education for Epic Games. I would love to connect anyone to Epic Games to be able to get access to the Unreal Engine, the Fortnite creative, the Unreal editor for Fortnite. So your students, because not only do they have the educational tools, but they actually have curriculum, and they actually align with a lot of the standards that states usually have to be able to credit students, to be able to get them credit to, advance to, getting a high school diploma or getting a college degree. And like I said, these goals align with the United Nations, so you can actually gamify your classroom and actually educate the students on the different subjects that you educate them on in the classroom, but use esports and video games, games that they're always known to, that they're watching videos on, that they're watching live streams of their favorite players. You can actually use that in the classroom, and they can actually get credits to actually their diploma, and that will only make you cooler and make you a cooler educator. You'll probably be their favorite teacher, but you will also be able to do something cool and innovative and spark passion that I know that will have a positive effect on your school district or wherever you work at.
So I just wanted to give you one thing really quick, as I think we're probably wrapping here. What's the time frame? Oh, we got plenty of time then.
Cool.
So when we're talking about Unreal Engine, right? And this was something that I had to learn myself, is you're using it in comparison for things like Fortnite, right? But Unreal Engine is actually the underlying simulation program that they use in film set design for creating some of those really cool effects.